Welcome everyone to the weekly wrap, fully reviewed. I'm Sean, your host, and this week we are going to be talking about Horizon Zero Dawn and its DLC, The Frozen Wilds. So let's get into it. Alright, so this week we're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. So, to give you a little bit of backstory in case you don't know about this game, the setting is a futuristic world with primitive tribes and machines that rule the world as animals. Throughout the game, we actually discovered the map that we are in is actually around Denver, Colorado, near Utah. But it's in the 31st century. Our main character is Aloy, and I must say, you automatically get sucked into Aloy as a character. You find out about her as a baby at the beginning, play a little bit of her childhood, all the way up to when she's 19. You get sucked in. You understand her motivations, her reasoning. You feel what she feels. An incredible character in an incredible world in an incredible environment. But because Aloy is motherless, she is cast out. She is an outcast of her tribe, the Nora. And her goal is she wants to find her place. She wants to earn her spot back into the tribe. I mean, who could blame her? Your whole life, you've been looked at as shameful and not worthy of anyone's love. And then your whole mission is to try to get back to that because you have a chance. But the thing is, they have to go through a trial to earn their place into the tribe. Even people in the tribe can compete for this, and they just increase in status. But Aloy's mission is to win this trial and learn about her mother. Because she's motherless, she doesn't have a mother, she doesn't know anything, and everybody's keeping it a secret. Well, unfortunately, things take a turn for the worst. And a lot of bad stuff happens to the tribe. They finally reveal to Aloy that, well, she's kind of connected to their god, the All-Mother. She wasn't born, at least not to them. All-Mother gave them to her. But because she had no mother, she was motherless and sent as an outcast. But through all of this trial, Aloy is granted the ability to leave the sacred land and find out what's happening. Why some of this bad stuff is happening now to them. Well, after some time, Aloy basically discovers she's a clone. Basically one of the old ones. That's somebody who lived back in the days of old, where all of the metal and the machines and the old ruins came from. She's a clone of Dr. Elizabeth Sobek. Now, we'll get more into Elizabeth here in a second, but why? What? Your whole life, 19 years, you're trying to find out who your mother is, and you discover that basically you're a clone? Ouch. That hurts. But basically 1,000 years ago, prior to the world being as it was, there was a company called Faro. They created machines to make the earth beautiful, get rid of greenhouse gases, eradicate pollution, but unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. They had to start making machines for war. But what they didn't think about was what happens if these machines become sentient? And they do. There's one type of machine that basically repairs machines, and it feeds on basically anything living. It was supposed to be living on water and then just filtering it out, or plant life and reseeding it. But then it starts turning on animals, and it turns many endangered species and not endangered species into extinct species, so much that it ends up coming for us, humans. There's also a corruption, a virus that grabs hold of other machines and basically turns them into worker bees for this bio-eating mass. I mean, way to go us. But to stop it, Ted Faro, the owner of the company, goes to a well-known, wonderful scientist named, you guessed it, Dr. Elizabeth Sobek. And she discovers there's only one way to stop the machines. Human extinction. You take away their food source, they die. Well, that sucks. But she does it through a project called Zero Dawn. Now, this plan, it calls for the extinction of humans, but once the extinction has happened, once the machines have died out, a artificial intelligence, yes, another machine, will re-terraform the Earth, repopulate it through basically some kind of weird surrogate bio thing, and repopulate the Earth. Give them the intelligence that they sought. Sounds cool. Around this time, that she also learns about this, Aloy also discovers a man named Silence. And Silence is kind of a shady guy. We don't know what his plot is, but he wants to take down the virus that is now corrupting the machines in Aloy's time. The machines are reverting back to what they were. They are becoming corrupt and destroying anything living, and they're not going to stop till it's all gone. Silence doesn't want to see that happen. Aloy needs help, so they join together. But Silence is keeping things at a distance. We don't know what their plan is, but we do learn that basically the AI knew it was becoming corrupt and created a clone of Dr. Elizabeth Sobek, because a clone of Dr. Elizabeth Sobek is the only thing that can stop the machines, because the AI thought she was smart enough. That would have helped if Aloy had been taught and trained, but she wasn't. She was put as an outcast and left to fend for herself. Way to go, AI. But it's not the AI's fault. It became corrupted by a basically virus machine called Hades. Eventually, through the help of many friends and a long, heartbreaking story, Aloy defeats Hades. But when she does, what happens? Well, that's where the sequel is going to come into play. Well, through many trials and many more interesting facts about the old world and the new world come into play, Aloy decides she needs to take down Hades. And it's not easy, but she eventually does it. Once she takes Hades down, the machines become slightly docile. Some are still corrupt and some have to be extinguished. But for the most part, Aloy saved the world, just like her mother, Dr. Elizabeth Sobek. So how does Aloy want to repay the debt? She wants to visit Dr. Elizabeth Sobek's grave. She finds it and she plays the last message that Dr. Elizabeth Sobek ever said. It's a heartbreaking moment. You finally find your mother. It's not exactly what you thought, but you're happy that you found it. Then we get a post-credit scene. Yeah, that sneaky guy Silence. Right before Aloy destroyed Hades, he was able to capture Hades. A weakened, smaller version of Hades, but nonetheless was able to capture Hades. And he plans on torturing him to find out where, why, how did you come to be? Are there others? Can I control you? Yeah, okay, this is not gonna be good, Silence. But that's where the next game leads off. But we get a little bit more story from the Frozen Wilds. In the Frozen Wilds, we get to explore another tribe's land. Only part of it, kind of the outskirts of the town, or the other world, possibly in the sequel, who knows? But we get to explore their land, and it's the Banu, these strong survival people. They live basically in a completely frozen land. It's a beautiful landscape. Lots of snow. Sometimes the snow is snowing so hard you can't see 10 feet in front of you in the game, and it's kind of important when you're battling giant machines with a bow and arrow. But we learn a little bit more about some of the other AI parts of Gaia, the AI from the Zero Dawn project. And we also learned that there were other AIs created to maintain some functions in the event of complete world failure. So that's pretty awesome. The main AI of the Frozen Wilds is an AI prevented from making a super volcano in Yellowstone erupt. That's kind of important, like really important. But just like Gaia, it has a corruption. So kind of copying and repeating there, but okay. So it's corrupt and it's creating these like daemon towers. I mean, these towers really suck. I mean, look at this giant purple tower. This thing emits a ring of purple energy that basically makes the machines more aggressive than Hades, and they heal. So you have to take down the tower before the machines. If you don't, sorry. After beating Zero Dawn, I thought the DLC, it's going to be a cakewalk. But honestly, it was challenging. Like, again, the Daemon Healing Machine Towers. Like, they also introduced some new machines. I mean, the Scorcher. Yeah, that thing can climb. So, you know, it's pretty easy in Zero Dawn. You just get up on a high ledge, you shoot down with your bow and arrow, and they maybe shoot back. You just step back and you're fine. No, this thing can climb. And it does a flamethrower. So, have fun. There's also these new, like, icebreaker bear type thing. I'm calling them bears. I'm pretty sure they're a bear. But yeah, they can pound the ground and make icicles pop out of the ground. So, yay. Their health is also ridiculous. And trying to take one down with a Daemon Tower, well, yeah, don't even try. But it was challenging. It was fun. They throw you in a couple sticky situations, but they also introduced the fact that you can have some comrades fight with. It was really cool, and I enjoyed that aspect. But a question that it left me with is this Daemon virus connected to Hades? Are they different? Did they come from the same place? Things that I'm hoping the sequel answers. But Guerrilla Games, honestly, please Take your time. Don't give us just a wash, rinse, and repeat of Horizon. You guys took 7 years to create this game, and it's beautiful. Don't take 7 years to create the sequel, but create a sequel, but make it better, make it bigger, make it epic. I honestly sunk in way too much time into this game. But the other thing is, the Frozen Wilds gave us new traits that honestly would help in early gameplay. So if you're downloading the game or buying the game, I recommend buying the complete set. You get the Frozen Wilds with the game, and they give you some really awesome traits that help, such as repairing your mount. Yeah, you can repair your machine horse. You can gather things while riding. There's one that I haven't even utilized yet because I'm that far in the game that I just don't need it, but it's a skill that allows you to, when you kill an animal, get their skin, get their bones, things like that. Those are things needed for crafting your satchels, and you got to increase your satchel to carry more items, more weapons, more outfits. Before this trait, I was never finding them. It was like a 1 in 100 chance of getting a skin or a bone, and you need a lot. With this, every animal I kill, I'm almost finding one. So that's a huge bonus for the beginning of the game. But it also adds more to the story, like quite a bit. I mean, this DLC was $20, and you get at least 15 extra hours of gameplay. More if you want to just kind of go around and getting experience, killing machines, and just looking at the beautifulness of the Banuk Cutland. Honestly, many questions are left after you complete the entire game and Aloy defeats Hades. But one thing has been answered for sure, and that is the fact that Aloy is her own person. She is a strong, wise, and better than most of the people of that world. Aloy is her own person. She's a strong, wise, and better than everyone else woman. And she is, in my opinion, this year's best character in video game. Now, the gameplay, if you're wondering, is it's a third-person RPG. Now, you do collect stuff. You do craft stuff. It's a shooter. There's strategy involved in critical thinking. Lots of puzzles. Lots of, how can I take down these machines? They give you traps, tripwires, bow and arrows, different types of arrows. There are so many possible combinations of things. I loved towards the beginning of the game how I actually had to think about what I was going to do. How can I take down this machine? What if I put some tripwires over here, put a couple bomb sensitive things here, and then I start shooting them from this angle and run around. It was a lot of fun setting up those strategies. As you get further in the game, you can honestly get overpowered. If you're doing all of the side quests, doing everything, you can get so overpowered that by the end of the game, you don't even have to worry about anything. You can just sit there shooting your arrows and take down a machine in no time. So I really kind of want to dive into the Critical Plus gameplay because I've heard that that adds more of a challenge. But to the same respect, just maybe next time, add more strategy. I must say, Frozen Wilds, I was strong. And even increasing in level, the Frozen Wilds challenged me. I wanted more of that towards the end of actual Horizon Zero Dawn. You only had to be about level 32 to complete the game. I was level 50, close to 50 at least, when I completed the game. And it was easy. But level 50 in Frozen Wilds, extremely hard. Like, you have to beat the game in order to really do that. I mean, you don't have to, but it would make it easier. So, okay, so that's basically the game. That's the gameplay. But let's talk about some of the reviews. These reviews are coming from IGN. So let's take a look. Across a vast and beautiful open world, Horizon Zero Dawn juggles many moving parts with polish and finesse. In main activity, combat is extremely satisfying. Thanks to the varied design and behaviors of machine creatures that roam its lands, each of which needs to be taken down with careful consideration. Though side questing could have been more imaginative, its missions are compelling, thanks to a central mystery that led me down a deep rabbit hole to a genuinely surprising and moving conclusion. 100%, like, that's how I felt about the game. The side quests, they were okay, but it all connected back to the main story, which I appreciated. And that story was so compelling that, honestly, I lost myself many times. I would just keep playing and forget that I'm even playing a game. It's like watching an in-depth movie. It's fantastic. But let's look at the IGN review for the DLC Frozen Wild. It can't be as good, right? Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wilds, is an excellent addition to an amazing game. Developer Guerrilla has doubled down on the thrill of the hunt with more challenging machines and testing side quests that are added to the original map through an intriguing new storyline that delves into the mystical side of the post-apocalyptic world. It left me wanting to start a brand new game just to wander around the world marveling at it. Yeah, the game is beautiful. I mean, take a look at this shot. This was me starting Horizon Zero Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds. Like, look at that. Yes, I'm posing in the snow. There's a beautiful aurora above, but that's the beginning of the game. This other shot, this is me maybe 5 hours into the original game when it released last summer. Like, this game is beautiful. Sometimes you just want to climb the highest mountain just to look out at the world. The story is so amazing. And like they said, the side quests in this game, way better than the side quests in the original content. They made you more involved. They added people to kind of keep the story going. I think they really heard the fans. And the fact that they started this DLC immediately after the game's release, like, they made this DLC in 9 months. So please, like, let's have the next game in like 3-4 years. Not only is this game getting a lot of great buzz and a lot of great reviews, but it got nominated for many game awards this year. It was nominated for Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Performance by Ashley Birch, the actress who plays Aloy, and Elizabeth Sobek. Also, it was nominated for Best Action Adventure Game. But what happened? It didn't win. What? People who voted, why is Horizon Zero Dawn not Game of the Year? Or at least one of these awards? Now, I understand. Zelda, incredible game. The gameplay, beautiful. Switch, beautiful. But this is like, it's one of the most original games of the year. Zelda's kind of just the same as it's always been. Nothing against Zelda. It was my number 2. But that doesn't mean that Horizon Zero Dawn is any less. And, you know, there was the Golden Joystick Awards, and it did win Best PlayStation Game of the Year for that. So, you know what? I guess you take what awards you can get, right? So, my final verdict, yeah, this game is absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. The gameplay is fun. It's just amazing. I was sucked in every second. Like I said, there were times when I started playing at like 10 o'clock at night and I lost track of time. I was sucked into the story and I didn't stop playing till 3 in the morning. Yeah, it was bad. Don't judge me, but it was incredible. I've sunk in with the DLC over about 100 hours into this game, which I didn't realize until recently, and I slightly wonder what I'm doing. But incredible game. I wouldn't trade a second of it for anything. So for Horizon Zero Dawn and its DLC, The Frozen Wilds, I'm giving them both a solid 9 out of 10 because they play like one game. That is the beauty of The Frozen Wilds. You can buy it right from the get-go and it feels like it's connected. I don't necessarily feel like it was just there for a money grab. I don't think it was necessary for the game. I think it was a fun addition, but you can play the game from the beginning and already explore that when you download it. So both of them together, solid 9 out of 10. Separately, still 9 out of 10. It's an incredible game. Okay, so if you have played Horizon Zero Dawn and or its DLC, please let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear from you. I want to know if I'm the only one who is upset it didn't win Game of the Year. I want to know what you think of the gameplay and what you hope for the sequel. And if you're seeing Star Wars, like I said, please let me know down below. Let me know what you thought. It's going to be epic. You can also let me know over on our Twitter, which is down in the description below. Alright, I want to thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Please let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. We are eager to hear from the fans. And if you haven't subscribed to the Weekly Wrap, then I recommend you do so right now by hitting this subscribe button here. And if you want to see our review of Justice League and Coco, you can click this video here. Thank you, and may the Force be with you.